Entrance by Orton. This one's called I Am. Young. What up?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube Messiah, and off an imitator. Another duplicator, superstar Tim Vicious, and gonna go over Raw this week. Was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And well, before we get into that, news do need to announce. It was announced today, as of the day of this recording, the Steiner brothers are finally getting their just deserve and going into the Hall of Fame. Very much so, well deserved. And I know a lot of people, including myself, when they think of the Steiners, 99.999% of the time they think of Scott Steiner, and they think of, you know, the Big Bad Booty Daddy, the 33 1/3% chance promos, or the infamous kind of gun show pose he would do, and you know, all that jazz, and all that's well and good. But when you look at the Steiner brothers as a tag team, my God, these dudes were fucking badass. There was no other way around it. Now, while my favorite tag team of all time, without question, is the Road Warriors, but man, dude, you want to talk about two dudes you would not want to fuck with? The Steiner brothers, man, hands down. Congratulations to them, and not only that, the big thing I'm looking forward to with that Hall of Fame induction more than anything, Scott Steiner with a hot mic in front of a live video camera. The production crew is going to listen. If anyone from WWE sees this before the Hall of Fame show, guys, get in touch with me. I'll hook you up with my heart doctor. He'll give you a good round of heart pills, so that way, trust me, you're more than likely going to need it. Because I could just imagine Scott Steiner flying off. But yeah. So, with that said, now that we're done talking about that, let's switch gears, talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. Well, it started out with Brock Lesnar standing outside Roman Reigns' dressing room, and then Kayla Braxton comes along, as only she can, winds up asking him, Brock, what's going on? What are you doing here? What happened given the events of last week? Well, I was fined for what I did with the forklift, which, you know, given what I have in the bank and what I make, it's a drop in the bucket. But, you know, I was told specifically not to put a hand on Roman Reigns unless otherwise provoked. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait here in Roman Reigns' personal dressing room and wait for him to be provoked. He grabs a cameraman, comes on in, place looks fucking beautiful, and smashes and destroys it all, destroys a coffee table, grabs a handful of his food, eats it, takes a swig of champagne, spits it out, smashes the bottle, destroys the place, looking like it just looked like a fucking, it looked like a mess. That's all it was. Best way I can describe that. Later on in the show, you see a video of Roman and Paul sitting in the car talking about how they were at a very high-end, classy steakhouse, and on how the side dishes alone at that place were at least worth over $5,000. And you know, they had a nice meal, they had some good laughs, some good times, and then they're on their way to the arena now. They come to the end of the night. Roman's in the ring, hyping up the match, talking about on how he's gonna smash Brock, he's gonna beat him, he's gonna destroy him, just like he did at the Garden, you know, and talking about on how he's in God mode. And then we see Brock Lesnar come out through the crowd, get on top of the announce table with a chair in hand, and then you see a line of security guys stand in front of, between him and Roman, and who is in the ring, and Brock, like in a fucking video game, just jumps off the table, boom, does a jump kick to the one guy, and then destroys the chairs on everyone else, And then just as he's getting into the ring to get Roman, the Usos pull Roman out and then the show ends. But the other highlights from the show were one of the Usos had a match with Nakamura, which, not a bad match. Nakamura got the win. Let's see where that goes to leading into Mania. Hoping they get the title win. That'd be pretty cool. Humberto Carrillo wound up seeing Ricochet doing a Proving Grounds match against Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, which both guys got the win on via a countout and DQ wins. Via countout, dirty, cheating, lying, bastard kind of ways. So this Friday coming up, it's going to be a triple threat match with Ricochet going against Garza and Carrillo for the Intercontinental Championship. Saw a little build-up package with Ronda in the ring, hyping up her match with Charlotte. Charlotte sitting in the back looking like she was in a makeup chair. And honestly, Ronda she seemed bored. The way she was talking, she was just standing there, talking like this. Not really sounding engaged or excited. And I can't, I'm not interested in her. I'm not. Is she a legitimate badass? Fucking yeah. Yeah. Could she beat the shit out of me in 6 different ways? Fucking yeah, she can. But as an entertainer, I'm not interested. Excuse me. Because she's fucking boring. She walks down to the ring like an angry Karen getting ready to just yell at a manager. And she doesn't look appealing. She doesn't look like she's interested in it. And I don't know if that's because of the MMA training where you get told no showing emotions, which is the complete opposite of what you need in wrestling, where you have to emphasize and show everything. But that fell flat to me. We also had a Fatal 4-Way women's match where, lordy, saw Zelina Vega, Queen Zelina, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, and oh crap, holy shit, I just fucking brain farted on that, goddamn. Well, see, there you go. See, folks, we don't hide our fuck-ups here on this show. Right, Wade? Wait. Okay, yeah. Either way. And Rhea Ripley, and either way, yeah. Sasha got the win. Not sure if that's going to lead to anything at Mania or not. If Sasha wins, whether Sasha's teams wins or not. Personally, I'm kind of hesitant on starting a pool on if Sasha's going to have a breakdown and have a screaming fit on the middle of the floor again like she did the one year. Let's just see where that goes. Oh, so yeah, that's pretty much all the big highlights from SmackDown. So with that said, let's get into this week's show. Raw, it starts out with Cowboy Brock coming out doing Cowboy Brock shit. Hyping up the match coming up. Talking about on how he's going to take Roman back on a trip back to ye old Suplex City. He's going to take him on a ride. He's going to give him a ride on an F5. And when you go on a ride on an F5, there is no coming back from that. And then Brock's title and Roman's title, they're going to have a little baby. And guess what? Brock's going to keep the baby. He's going to get custody of it. And Brock, I will say this. I'm enjoying seeing Cowboy Brock because he looks like he's having more fun now than he ever has in his entire career. And I just, wow, it's fun. And at the end of the day, it's wrestling. When you're sitting from this perspective, watching the show, you want to be entertained. Whether that's with engaging characters or gripping stories or high-end action, whatever. We all have our reasons for why we watch wrestling and why we like it. Yeah. So with that said, after that, then we got into the first match of the night. It was Miz going against Rey Mysterio, but beforehand, Miz highlighted on how he was a dirty, rotten bastard by stealing Rey's mask last week, and then he introduced his tag partner who was wearing the mask, and Logan Paul came out wearing it, and it was just like the biggest, what the fuck kind of moments, like, what? Ew. Ew. Ew, ew. Ew, 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 ew. Yeah. So Rey and Dominik come down. Dominik storms in there, takes Miz down, starts beating the tar out of him, and then the ref throws Dominik out of the ring. So, yeah, Dom's banned from ringside. As far as the match went, Miz, he was leading into the break. Rey wound up picking up the lead post-break. Like, literally, they come back from break. Rey's leading right up until the very end of the match. And on how the match came to an end, Miz wound up getting Rey, had him hooked for a powerbomb, bounced him off the ropes. Rey then spun it around for a sunset flip and got the 1-2-3 via that. Afterwards, then Dom came down, brouhaha between Miz, Logan, Paul, Rey, Dominik. Just they were about to do a 619 on the Paul. Miz pulls him out of safety, and all the crowd boo, ooh, hiss, boo, hiss. You know what that means right there? Goddamn, pal, we fucking got him. We got them by the balls. Yeah, so come Mania, once they hit that 619 on Paul, it's not an if, but when, man, you better be ready to hear a loud ass pop for that. Instead, they wound up hitting one on Rey, and then they both went froggy on him. So yeah. Next match we got was a handicap match with Omos going against the Raiders. Now I should emphasize they highlighted that this is the WrestleMania Raw, so talent from both shows got to meet and collide tonight for this special occasion. Oh, so lovely. Almost makes a man cry. Well, I said almost, I didn't, so yeah. Omos went against the Viking Raiders, and well, I never thought I'd ever see the Raiders in a squash match, but it happened, and it was Eric. Well, it was Eric. It was a count-out because Omos just straight up decked him with like a fucking lariat, and then just like Eric wound up like checking out, rolled out of the ring and counted out. Ivar was on the apron. Omos kicked him, knocked him down. Afterwards, Omos cut a promo saying come WrestleMania, he's going to stand triumphant. Personally, what I would like to see with him is this Friday coming with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Have him win. Have him win it. They want to keep emphasizing he's undefeated. He's been undefeated. He hasn't been pinned or beaten since Mania. But no, that's not the case at all. Because after he did that, and then have him win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, that was where my mindset was. But then we got a completely different thing. After he cut that promo, we saw the return of the almighty Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley came out, got in his face, and then Omos got him, smushed his face some, and then they started slugging a little, and then Bobby, after 2 or 3 shoulder tackles, boom, finally knocked Omos down to his feet, out of the ring, and then they issued the challenge, and then it became official. Omos, Bobby Lashley, WrestleMania. So this is going to be I'm hoping that's going to be a damn good match. Next up, we got 8 women tag action right here, and I thought I was going to need heart pills, but just skipped 1 or 2 beats, that's all. That was it. Nothing serious. I'm good. Didn't even deserve a brain duster for watching this, for looking over this match, surprisingly. Sasha Banks, Naomi, Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley going against Zelina Vega, Carmella, Natalya, and Shayna Baszler. I'm guessing you could see where I may have skipped 1 or 2 beats. So, as far as the match went, the heels, they were leading into the break. Post-break, Sasha, she was the punching bag. Right up until the heels started all imploding and fighting with each other. Shayna and Natayla wound up hitting a heart attack on Sasha. Zelina tagged herself in and then insisted that she was going to get the win. Started to set Sasha up for a code red. Got out of it, and then next thing you know, got into her corner. Wound up doing a quick tag to everyone. Like she tagged in Rhea, who tagged in Liv, who tagged in Naomi. That kind of that I don't remember the exact order, but it was that kind of shit. But everyone got their shit in on Zelina, and then Rhea Ripley did a riptide onto Zelina Vega, then 1, 2, 3. And can we just address one thing right here, right now? The way fucking Rhea Ripley is pinning the opponents. Like, seriously, man, the position she keeps putting them in, it looks like a fucking scene off of Brazzers. Don't ask how I know, let's just say I know. But moving forward, next up, we had Ricochet going against Austin Theory, which, not gonna lie, a lot of good back and forth action. A lot of good, solid back and forth action. A lot of the matches tonight were relatively quick paced, except the main event, which we'll get to. But, not gonna lie, most of tonight's show was mostly all build-up packages, promos, talking, this, that, and the other. But decent match. Theory got the win hitting the ATL. A lot of talk saying no. We're, hyping up Theory's match with Pat McAfee at Mania, with Graves saying to Cole, who was ringside all night, I'm not coming back to work with you again. I'm not doing double duty. I'm not doing Fridays again now. No. If your boy messes up, if your boy Pat messes up and attacks him beforehand, that's on him. He gets fired, that's on him. So yeah. Next up, we had a handicap match. Drew McIntyre against Corbin and Madcap Moss. Before the match, we saw Moss tell a really shitty joke that Corbin didn't like, so you could see the obvious split being set up. And now, when the match started, we saw Corbin and McIntyre tie up, and my first thought was, God damn it, they finally made them touch. I didn't want that to happen until the show. But then after the tie-up and Drew threw Corbin into his corner, he tagged in Mosh real quick. So I was like, okay. I'm good. I'll allow it. Because we didn't see any physicality. It was just a quick test of strength. No different than when you see the hero and the villain get face to face with each other, where their foreheads are nudging against each other. They didn't fight, but they're getting close to it. But once Moss got in, man, McIntyre went to town on him. And then Corbin was just hopped off the apron and was like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Later, fuckers. And then McIntyre got the win with a Claymore. Afterwards, Corbin then came in, did a beatdown on McIntyre, and then proceeded to steal his sword. So, yeah. We saw a couple more build-up videos, some for KO with Austin at Mania. We saw one also with Seth coming to WWE headquarters, confronting Vince, asking what's going on. Is he getting fired for what he did last week? Is he being suspended? And Vince said, No. God damn, pal. I was impressed with what you did. And if you wanted a spot on WrestleMania, all you had to do was fucking ask, pal. And then Vince said he's got a match. He'll say who his opponent is when it's time to. So I certainly hope it would be a nightmare if Seth's opponent was so dashing we were all thrown off by all the smoke and mirrors. Wink, wink. Hint towards the possibility of people saying, oh, it's Cody. It was a joke. It was a bad fucking joke, people, okay? God, that's what we do on here. We complain about shit, we talk about shit, and we tell shitty jokes. Moving forward, now we come to the main event of the night. Usos going against Riddle and Orton, with Nakamura and Boogs sitting ringside. And, you know, the only thing I can honestly question about Boogs and Nakamura being ringside is Corey Graves at one point mentioned Rick Boogs being a flat earther, and now I'm just sitting there thinking, I really hope that's not true. Because I really like the guy, but I really don't want to have to sit there and look at him and say you're a dumbass for thinking the earth is flat. Yeah. So as far as this match went, it was a decent match. Riddle and Orton, they were leading into the break. Post-break, in fact, we had 2 breaks with Riddle being the punching bag. And, yeah. Randy wound up getting the hot tag in, started cleaning up pretty good. Just as Randy was setting everything up for the finish, next thing you know, the Street Profits come in, attack Riddle and Orton, so the match is then thrown out. We get a big giant brawl between all 3, where eventually the Profits and Riddle and Orton are standing tall, and then Randy pops an RKO on the Ford, then Riddle pops one on the Dawkins, and yeah, so my big question after seeing all this is, are the Profits turning? Because don't get me wrong, I'm cool with it. You know, your hero is only as good as your villain, and if the hero can turn into a villain, man, they better be a damn good villain. But either way, if the Profits are turning, I got good money on them saying that they can pull it off. But, yeah. So, yeah, that was it for the show, folks. So, that was it for Raw. And that's it for this week's show. So, please, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. When you can, look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also, thank you to my executive producer, Ari Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check out it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. They're a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, don't forget to check out whatamaneuver.net for one of these Vicious Ranch shirts. Make sure y'all pick one up. Help support the show in some kind of way. And don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats right on the Twitter. Kenny Killer DSB_IV. Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.